I went from being too scared to take a single sales call, being way too anxious, too worried to even get onto the Zoom meeting, to the point where I'm closing $46,000 deals in one 45-minute phone call. And in this video, I want to share every single thing that I've learned in going from terrible at sales to getting to the point where I am not as bad. And the way that I want to do it is I literally just want to walk you through every single thing that you would need to know step by step, whether you're just starting out, whether you haven't even taken a sales call before, whether you've taken 1 to 10, whether you've taken 100 and you still aren't as confident in your closing ability. Wherever you are in the process, I just want to give you every single thing step by step, from exactly what to ask, when to ask it, how to actually pitch, how to handle the objections. Because when I first started, I wish I had a video like this, because it would have saved me years and hours and hours and hours of anxiety, worrying about sales calls, terrible experiences, and just hating sales. So if you don't know who I am, my name's Ethan Welby. I'm the co-founder of Agency Growth Partner. I've built 2 $50,000 per month SMMAs, and we're currently helping over 50 other agency owners to scale up, add an extra 50, 100, 150K per month while building and automating the entire business. So I want to start off by telling you a quick story of when I first started out in sales. And this was, after I left high school, I decided not to study. And what happened was I was starting the agency. And at this point, it was very early on. I was still staying in my parents' house. And as you can imagine, when you're trying to take sales calls and there's like literally your grandma walking in the door, it's terrible. But what happened was I was running the appointment setting agency. So I was helping marketing agencies to get more leads, to get more clients. And I was pitching these services. So what happened was on my first, let's say 5 to 10 sales calls, I would reach out to prospects, get the call booked. I knew how to make an offer. I watched some Alex Hormozi stuff. I watched some YouTube videos, and I actually figured out how to get the booking. So I was actually booking at this time, a couple bookings every single week. I was in a good position. But the problem was I was terrible with people. I was terrible at speaking, and I hated the idea of a sales call. Like when I say I hated it, I was terrible. So I would have a sales call booked, let's say, for Monday. It was Friday. And what happened was the entire weekend, I would be thinking about it. I would be, having anxiety. Just the thought of me getting onto a call with the prospect was like, oh, this is going to be terrible. I was like, what if someone walks in? What if they shout at me? What if they ask me for experience? Because I didn't have any case studies. So it would be, Saturday, Sunday, I'd be thinking about it. Monday morning, I'd wake up and I'd just be like, straight anxious, Like imagine in the morning, you just wake up and you're just like tense. You're like, your first thought of the day is, I have a sales call, I have a sales call, I have a sales call. And it was just bad. And there was literally no reason to feel this way, but it just happened. So the sales call would be at like 5 p.m. The entire day up until then, I'm trying to do other work. I'm trying to have conversations with people, like in my family, and I would still be thinking about the call. Like an hour, 30 minutes, 50 minutes, I would just be thinking about it. And it got to the point where before the call, like right before they're meant to join, I was literally praying that they would cancel, just so that I could say that, I didn't have to take the call. So even when I got onto the call, terrible, sweating, whatever, I would get onto the call and my voice would be trembling. I wouldn't know what to say. I didn't know what to ask. I'd be so nervous, and I felt like an imposter going through the process, because it's like, why do I have the right to ask these questions? And the prospect, on the other hand, they felt super what seemed like they were very impatient. Like they were like, why is this kid asking me questions? He looks like he's 14. Like, why is he doing this? He's at his parents' house. All these things went about. I didn't know how to handle objections, all of this. And I couldn't close the deal. And this went on for 10, 20 sales calls. Like it is all genuinely bad. Now that I think about it, it's cringy. But over time, I developed, more confidence. I got used to it. Honestly, that is a lot of the solution, just taking more calls. But I also got advice and I got mentorship from people doing a lot better. So the first one I learned from was Sam Ovens. Now, he's closed over 50 million in deals at his company. I think his company at the time was doing $50 million per year. I learned from people like Charlie Morgan. His company's doing 10 million per year. And I basically took that, the courses, the mentorship, plus a whole lot of reading. So I read a ton of books. I did a ton of other courses on sales. And I just accumulated all this knowledge because, look, I decided I needed to learn sales to get good. If I was going to run a business that is completely reliant on my ability to talk to people, close deals, I had to get good. So there was no other option than getting better at sales, learning the skill. And what I did was every single day, I devoted tons and tons of time into learning that. So I would study these things. I would listen to these books. I would do everything that I could to get better at sales. And over time, I got to the point where I was actually very good at sales. So I was closing, 63% of deals at a point. Each of them, I was charging $4K per month. It was going very well. And it got to the point where I would have these clients on, they'd have 7-figure agencies, and I'd be consulting them on sales. They would come to me saying, Ethan, how do I do this? How do you handle this? And I'll just give the advice. And now we have, 20 to 30 people in our program right now. I'm mentoring them one-on-one, helping them with sales, helping them with scaling up. And it's all due to the practice and the work that I put in and following this exact process. So what I want to do now is share this exact process so you can take it for yourself. So there's 3 parts that I want to cover: discovery, pitching, and objections. These are the main parts of the sales process. Now, the first part is discovery. And the way that we want to approach this is as a doctor, right? A professional consultant. We need to figure out who we're working with, what are their goals, what is the situation. So we're going to get someone onto a call. Now, I'm assuming you've done the bookings, you've done the outreach, you've gotten the booking, they're on the call with you, right? If you don't know how to do this, check my other videos. Once they're on the call with you, the first thing that you need to do is set the agenda. You need to let them know that, look, you want to figure out if you can help them. You want to figure out the situation. You want to figure out what their goals are. So you're going to ask them a couple of questions to get an understanding of this. So very simply, that's what you would say. So you'd go through the formalities. You'd be like, hey, how are you? How's your week? Then you can just say something like, cool, so I was looking forward to the call. Really wanted to see how we could potentially help you out. Would you be open if I get us going with the process? They'd be like, yeah, okay. Then you say, cool, want to start off by asking some quick questions, help me understand your situation, what your goals are, and if we could help you get there. If everything seems like a good fit, I'm happy to walk you through the entire offer, how it works, and then we can go from there. That's how you start a call. Then what you're going to do is you're going to ask them a series of questions. So if you want the exact script, you can either just book a time using the link in the description. I'll walk you through the whole process live, or you can just leave a comment. But the key things that you're looking for is, what is their goal? What is their desired state? This is one. What is their current state? And then what is stopping them from making the jump from where they are to where they want to be? Okay. So by asking questions, you're going to map out what these things are. And what you're looking to do here is create separation. You're looking to create a distance between where they are and where they want to go. So if I got into a call with a prospect, I would ask them, for example, what is your goal in 12 months? Like, what's your revenue target? They'd say, let's say 100K per month. Then I would ask, okay, what's your current revenue? 10K per month. Cool. So the goal is to go from 10K to 100K. Then I would ask, okay, what's stopping you from getting there? Signing more clients. So the only thing stopping them from going from 10K per month to 100K per month is signing more clients. So if I can position myself as the best way to sign more clients, then they're going to get there. Like, that is literally it. That is sales. Obviously, there's more detail that you can go into. So for example, if they say, signing clients is stopping them, then you can ask, okay, what about it's difficult? Well, I can't book enough meetings. Okay, what's stopping you from booking meetings? What have you tried? Well, I tried email, but it just didn't work. Why? I don't know. I can't stand out from everyone else. Okay, cool. So we need to build an offer so you can stand out from everyone else, build a system so it sends automatically, so you don't have to spend any time in it. And by doing this, you will sign more clients, right? That's it. Or if they have a sales problem, we can talk about that. Okay, so why are you not closing deals? Well, I don't track my numbers. Okay, cool. I don't have a script. Okay, cool. So when you're doing the discovery, this is the first part of the call, you're identifying all the problems that they have stopping them from going from 10K to 50K. And you're going to be noting these down as you go along. Like, I will literally have my laptop open, or the computer open with the monitor. On one hand, I'll have the call, so the actual prospect, and the other hand, I'll literally just have notes and my line of questions. So I'll have what questions I'm going to ask, and I'll have the notes on the prospect. And what I'm noting is what's stopping them, what's their goal, and then what's their current situation. Like, that's it. So once you get those pieces of detail, what you're going to do is you're going to move to the pitching stage. So assuming you think you can help them, what you want to do is you can say at the end of it, like, cool, so that's all the questions I had. In this situation, I definitely think we can help you with this. Would you be open to me, giving you some more info about what we do? Right, that's it. So when you pitch now, this is where a lot of people mess up. What you want to start by doing is giving a mini pitch. So this is a very brief overview as to what you do. Okay, and it'll go something like this. So if I was on a sales call, I'd say, perfect, so I think you're a fantastic fit for this. Can I give you some more info on what we do? They'll be like, yeah, of course. I would say, perfect. So we help marketing agencies to sign more clients. And usually the clients that we work with, they have all the foundations in place in the sense that, they have service delivery on lock, they know how to deliver for clients, they have case studies that are growing from referrals, but the main limitation to the growth is acquisition. So in your case, if you're looking to go from 10K to 100K, the only thing stopping you from making that jump is just, like I said, acquisition, signing more clients. So the biggest thing stopping you from signing more clients is just booking more meetings. So if we can build a system so that you can book 1 to 3 meetings per day and close at least a client a week, then getting from 10 to 100K will be pretty inevitable. So would you be open to me going into some more detail, and I'll share my screen as I go along. So that's what you're going to do. You're giving a brief overview, and then you're pitching some more info in terms of sharing your screen and going through it. So the first part, you didn't even share your screen, you just spoke normally. Then the second part, what you're going to do is you're going to share your screen and you're going to go into more detail, and you're going to give them some overview as to how, the process actually works. And again, I can't actually share my screen now, but if you do want me to walk you through this live, you can just book a time and I'll, show you everything, answer any questions, things like that. So what you're doing though, key points, is that you're keeping it high level. So in my pitch, I'm not talking about, the lead sourcing or the AI automation tools, like all of that. I'm talking about, we're going to build an offer so you can stand out, build you an automated outbound system so you can book 1 to 5 meetings per day, So you always have qualified prospects to speak to. And then we're going to give you a sales system where you can close at least 30% of these deals. Then we're going to help you automate your processes so that you can get to 50K while maintaining 80% margins, while being out of the day-to-day. Like, that is how I'm going to go about it. And the best thing that you can do while you're pitching this is showing case studies. So mentioning other people who have done these things that have gotten to the place where they want to go. So let's say while I'm talking about building an acquisition system, I'll have our program open and they will just see floods and floods of results from our clients. So every single thing that I say has more meaning. It has more potency because it's backed by these case studies. So once you finish your pitch, what you're going to do is you're going to end it very clearly. You're going to say, perfect. So, that's how you do it, whatever. And then you say, what questions do you have on the process? So you're going to actually get them to ask questions. And then you're going to answer it. You're going to stay silent. You're going to answer the next one, stay silent until they keep going and they ask about the price. Okay. So if they don't ask about the price for any reason, what you're going to do is, you just want to make sure, do you have any other questions? Like, I just want to make sure, are there any other things that I can answer? Any other things that I can clarify for you? At that point, if they say no, and it's just silent and it's just like slightly awkward, then what you can do is you can say, perfect. So the next things that we'll go through is just what getting started looks like. Would it be okay if I walk you through that? Then they say yes, you share your screen, you show them the pricing, and then from there, that's it. So you literally just mention like, this is what you're going to receive, this is the price, and then you just stay silent and you let them give the response. So what you're going to get after that is either questions or objections. The questions can be like, are you able to split the payment? Am I able to do it next week? Things like that. The other side is objections. And objections are situations where they're saying no, where they're saying like, I can't get started now for a certain few reasons. And salespeople always talk about objections because it's the most important part of the process. If you can't handle the objections, then you're going to be losing so many deals because so many deals, if you could just handle one objection, they'd be ready to buy. But because you don't, the entire deal falls away. And people don't handle their own objections, so you need to handle these. And the only cause of objections, they're just seeds of doubt. They're just indications that the prospect isn't fully confident in getting started right now. So your role is to give them confidence. And honestly, to simplify everything, the three main objections that you're going to get is price, decision maker, and stall. Now, price is a function of value. So if someone says, I can't afford it, it's too much for me right now, I don't have the money. So these are indications either that they can't afford it, like they genuinely just don't have the money, but most likely they don't see the value in it. So for example, if someone's making a 10K per month business, they're making money, and you have a 5K program and they say, I can't afford it. Either they really just don't have any money at all, or they're just not 100% certain that what you do is going to help them get there, right? So what you want to do in this situation is based on your own judgment. If you really think they can't afford it, like they're 14-year-old high school student, they literally have no money, then it's like, okay, understandable, fair enough. There are other ways to go about this, but I probably wouldn't suggest a 14-year-old get like a loan or, credit card, whatever. But if it seems like they could afford it, then what you want to do is, and this is the best way that I found to handle this objection, is whenever someone says, I can't afford it, what you want to do, if your service is literally making them more money, what I like to say is, if this could just help you sign an extra 2 clients a month at 2.5K each, that's an extra 5K in added monthly revenue. Would this make it worth it for you? So in this case, it's like, let's say our thing costs 5K and 5K one time, and they sign 2 clients at 5K per month. It's like they're going to be making money month over month. So obviously it's worth it. And when you put it that way, they're like, oh yeah, so it only would take, 2 clients in a month to make the money back immediately, let alone the money that's going to come month over month after that. So then from there, once they do mention that, okay, it doesn't actually seem like they can't afford it, does seem like it will make an ROI for them, then you just determine, okay, is it something that they can actually afford? Because they see the value in it now. Now it's just a matter of, okay, do you need to get them on a split payment? Can they actually just pay it now? And you can ask them. You can be like, after that, you can just be like, okay, cool. So with that in mind, we'd be open to getting started. And then they'll just say yes. Like, I've had so many prospects who's gone through that same situation. Otherwise, you can get them on a split pay. So instead of 5K up front, it's like 2.5 over 2 months, things like that. The next objection that you're going to get is around the decision maker. Now, this is probably the most difficult one. And purely, it's the situation where, let's say you're speaking to someone, but they have 2 business partners, and obviously they make decisions together. So if one's on the call with you, they can't make it without the others. So what you want to do in this situation is try, firstly, before the call takes place, get all the decision makers on the meeting with you. If not, if you're talking to one and you don't have the others there, what you want to do is figure out what the main concerns of the other ones potentially are. So let's say someone says to me, cool, it sounds great, but I need to talk to my partners and then I'll get back to you. Then I would ask them, cool, totally understand, just so I know, what do you think the main concerns of your partners would be? And then what this is going to do is they're going to start thinking, what are the possible reasons that they wouldn't buy? Even though we say for their partners, in their heads, they're just making up reasons. They don't know what their partners are actually thinking. So they're trying to figure out what the potential concerns would be. And usually it'll be something like, well, I tried email in the past and it didn't work, so they probably would be skeptical about that. Or, 5K is a lot of money for us right now, so I don't think we can get started. Then what you're going to do is you're going to try and handle these objections with the person there, because now you know what their concerns are. So if they say price is the issue, then you can go through the whole thing that I mentioned before around value, around ROI, and then try and get it closed. If not, you still want to handle as much as you can. And then the key point is that you need to schedule a follow-up call with these other partners, right? Don't leave the call without scheduling a follow-up one. All you need to say is, cool, I totally understand you need to talk to your partners. Would you be open to scheduling a call with them so that I can answer any questions that you might have and that they might have as well? In the meantime, I'll send over some more information just so you guys can review it before the call. Then they'll say yes, get a time, and then have the meeting with them there. And the final objection that you're going to get is around stalling, right? I need to think about it. I just need to, process it, whatever people say. What you want to do here is really identify the root cause of why they need to stall, why they need to think about it, why they need to take long. And usually it's around a fear or a concern around something that you offer. So for example, if someone says, I need to think about it, the first thing I like to ask is, what are the main things you need to think about? Or what's your main concern? And then they'll say, oh yeah, I just need to think about it. Like it happens all the time. And then what I like to say is, okay, I totally understand. So usually in these situations, it's when you need to think about it, it's more so about the delivery or around the pricing. Those are the main concerns of the past prospects that we've had. Is it more around the delivery that you need to think about or that you're concerned about, or is it more around the pricing? And then they'll be like, probably around the pricing. I'm like, okay, cool. So is it the case that this amount is, too much to invest right now? And they'll say, this pricing issue, or they'll say the service issue. And then what you want to do is, all I'm doing here is just identifying what the root cause is. And then from there, removing that concern and then going for the close. So then asking, cool, based on that, would you be open to getting started, right? So even if they need to think about it, it could still be a pricing issue. It could be an issue on the delivery. If they don't trust cold email, you just need to make them trust cold email. Like things like that. So by following this process, following the discovery phase, figuring out exactly, where they are, where they want to go, then going into the pitch, keeping it high level, telling them what you do, and then handling the objections to make sure you get the deal closed. This is exactly how you can close agency SMMA deals super consistently using a proven process. And if you want help one-on-one from me, actually building this out for you, getting the scripts written, getting the objections handled, one-on-one practice, you can just check the link below and just book a time with me there. And I'll walk you through exactly how our systems work, some case studies, give you our scripts, anything that you might need, and then just make sure you hit your targets with the agency.